Okay. Good morning. This is the voting meeting for the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2022. While the public is encouraged to attend, there will be no additional public testimony accepted today. We're beginning with the license premise inspection hearing, which occurred on Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Item number 1, 955 LLC, doing business as Dillon's, located at 951 Boylston Street. Date of the incident, October 31st, 2021. Patron-on-patron assault in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A, and expired assembly permit in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.02b.
Thanks, Danny. I didn't think that this was foreseeable, and I don't see a violation.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Okay. Item number 2, Game On Fenway LLC, doing business as Game On Sports Cafe, located at 72 to 82 Lansdowne Street. Date of the incident, October 24th, 2021. Patron-on-patron assault in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 264, Section 13A, and patron-on-employee assault in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A.
The incident, as the testimony indicated, the incident happened in the bathroom. The employees weren't aware of it until they were outside. I don't think it was foreseeable at all, and I don't see a violation.
I agree.
I didn't see one either.
No violation. Item number 3, Congress Fine Dining LLC, doing business as Lucky's, located at 355 to 359 Congress Street. Date of the incident, October 23rd, 2021. Employee on patron aggravated assault in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A.
I see no violation.
None.
Neither did I.
No violation. Item number 4, Johnny's on the Side LLC, doing business as West End Johnny's, located at 138 Portland Street. Date of the incident, August 28th, 2021. Overserved patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64.
There was no, the violation did not indicate that anyone witnessed service happening. So for that reason, I don't see a violation.
I agree.
Yeah, I didn't think they got there.
No violation here. Item number 5, GSTH Investment Group LLC, doing business as Bijou and Rock and Rye, located at 51 Steward Street. Date of the incident, November 5th, 2021. Persons under 21 in possession of alcohol on premise in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 34A, 34C, and 64 to 64A.
The video that Danny shared from the attorney did show that they scanned the ID. Even though they did the right thing, there's still a violation. There was a person under 21 in possession. So for that reason, I see a violation.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so we're clear on the violation. As to the disposition?
I don't think we have a history of persons under 21 in possession of this licensed premise, so I would vote for a written warning.
I agree.
Sounds good.
Okay, violation with a written warning. Item number 6, Fuente Cleaning Services, Inc., doing business as Belarus, Columbia, located at 28 Bennington Street in East Boston. Date of the incident, November 6th, 2021. Failure to adhere to licensing board guidelines regarding window covering in violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 64.
The agreement that we had with the licensee that prevented him from covering his windows was something we negotiated together with the local district captain. I have not had an opportunity to discuss with him. I do see a violation because the windows were covered and you can't see in from outside. But I would like to defer the vote on this until I can check in with the local police captain.
Sounds good.
Commissioner Saxon, do you agree? Okay, so we'll defer the disposition, the vote on the disposition.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
No
Sure.
worries. Okay, item 7, Apple New England LLC, doing business as Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, located at 11A Allstate Road in Dorchester. Date of the incident, November 8th, 2021. Persons under 21 in possession of alcohol on premise in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 34A, 34C, and 64 to 64A.
I see a violation. That being said, I appreciate the licensee coming forward and explaining what he had done since this incident to prevent this from happening again. He fired the employee and re-educated his staff. But I do see a violation,
It was
I
like-
agree.
and my vote would be for a written warning.
Sure.
Okay, violation with a written warning. Item number 8, Russian Benevolent Society doing business as Crystal Restaurant Garage Room located at 14 to 20 Linden Street in Allston. Dated the incident November 15th, 2021. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, gun in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 15A. Assault and battery patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. Assault and battery patron on employee in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. Failure to call 911 in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.14B. And failure to cooperate with police in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.10A and B.
I would like to discuss this incident as one larger incident, as opposed to breaking them down individually. Taking the totality of the circumstances and the stress and strain on police resources, we could go back and forth debating the individual circumstances that happened that day, but I don't feel that's necessary. I see a violation.
Yeah, I think the facts are troubling.
I saw violations on each individual one and as a whole, so I have no problem saying, I think they were wrong. I can see bits wrong with every single bit of it, so,
Okay,
and as a whole, so I didn't.
you don't
I
disagree.
felt like I was all the way there. It was pretty clear for everything as
Yeah.
a totality and as individual written up aspects.
My biggest concern is with the licensee not making himself available. He immediately closed down the licensed premise after the incident to, as he said, regroup, but that completely impeded the investigation by Boston police and especially the district police officers. And I have never, in all the years that I've been chair of this board, have seen a hearing be used as an investigation. And it's clear that the police are still not able to get the information they want from the licensee, and hopefully with their attorney working with them, they'll be able to get the information that the police are looking for. I vote for, I see a violation. I vote for a 4-day suspension to be served on a date once they reopen and on a date that is approved by this board. I also vote that they submit a written security plan, a training plan for their employees, and they notify us. I'm sorry, back up, Danny. I'm sorry. I think I'd like to call that a reopening plan that will include a written security plan, a training plan, a list of their staff, and that staff will include any security officers they have, any subcontractors they have, and should they be using promoters, I would like this licensing board to be notified of promoters, and that would have to be approved before us before they reopen, and then we would discuss the 4-day suspension. Is that clear?
I completely agree.
I agree with all that. I did have a comment about cooperation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really, when I said everyone, that was like, I think they muddied the waters in a way on cooperation, but really when I thought about it, it's like, they're really trying to say that they were compliant with like what was clear, and cooperation is something more than mere compliance. I mean, they're supposed to work with the police like actively, and that's
Yeah,
my
I was
expectation.
troubled by the DJ's answer that he had told the police he'd be back in town on a certain date, but then his response was, "Well, you never called me." I think the district police officers have a lot they're juggling, and having to track down this out-of-state DJ is not something they should have to do. That person should be coming forward with the helpful information, with Instagram account names. Anyone that's familiar with them, they should be doing everything they can to go above and beyond to help the district police in this area.
Yeah, I agree.
And I want to reinforce the 24-hour contact should not be an HR person. The reason why we have a 24-hour contact for these licensees is for cooperation with Boston Police. We have many examples of how licensees' video cameras have helped solve crimes, not crimes that are necessarily committed within the licensed premise, but on the streets of Boston. And that is the reason why we want the 24-hour contact. Should we need to get video footage of a crime that occurred in a licensed premise, we want to know how to contact the person who can preserve the video immediately, and that is not an HR person.
Can you emphasize the need for a working security system? I think you had a
Yes.
security plan in there, but
I think this is a familiar thing we hear, that their security system basically cuts out. And unfortunately here, they're claiming that it cut out right before and right after the crime was committed. It would have helped them if we had the full video.
right.
Actually, is there any way we could get it like in our docket that was the allegation this time? So then if it happens again, we can clearly see that like it
There's a
happened.
pattern.
Like this is like what you say every time kind of thing in case it's
Could you note that, Danny, in the docket, just so we have that to look back on?
Note that about when
The
the
board-
security, sorry, go ahead.
So I would just note that the board raised concerns about the security system not being of any value.
video
Great.
malfunction alleged by premises, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just so
And-
it doesn't escape our memory if it happens, you know, in a year, 2 years, something like that.
Absolutely, and that can also be included in the communication that goes out to them, which will be included in the licensee's file as well. So just to recap what I believe the vote was, there was a vote for a violation and a 4-day suspension to be served on a date upon reopening and to be approved by this board. In advance of their reopening, the licensee must submit to the board a written reopening plan, including a security plan, which will also encompass how they intend to have a working security system, a training plan, a list of staff, which will include any subcontractors and security staff, and the board requests advance notice of any promoters working at the premises.
But also
it is-
screening and pat down procedures.
Great, to be included in the security plan.
I would like to know every time that this licensed premise has a promoter, and if that is daily or weekly, I think this board would like to know that.
Okay. Board will also request notice of every time a promoter is working on the premise.
Did they say that there was a camera in the parking lot or not?
Yes, but it cut out at the exact moment that,
Oh, that was the same cam, okay. I thought it was,
Yeah, I think what they said was based on a previous incident, they had worked with the police to gain extra coverage, but that's their allegation was that there were technical malfunctions that caused it to cut out randomly, supposedly.
I thought there were two different, because there was one that was closer to the building as well.
oh, I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, maybe 2 cameras. It was
I
Like
thought
I
it was
said, there
one.
was some muddying going on there, so it wasn't.
Okay, are we comfortable with this vote? Great.
I am, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to work that through.
Yeah, thank you all. There was no transactional hearing held yesterday, so we'll now move on to non-hearing transactions. The following are applying for a new common victualler license at a previously licensed location. Item 1, Urzacat Inc., doing business as College Pizza, located at 50 Queensberry Street. Issam Urzacat as manager of record, hours of operation 11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
Great.
Item 2, The Sausage Guy Inc., located at 1880 William J. Day Boulevard in South Boston. David Littlefield as manager of record, hours of operation 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
OJPAT LLC, doing business as Hen Chicken Rice, located at 190 High Street. Varit Vira Yadom Chart as manager of record, hours of operation 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
Very well.
And the following have applied to make changes to their existing common victualler licenses. Item 1, Lulu Green LLC, located at 246 West Broadway in South Boston, has petitioned to change the manager to Mary Latouf.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
Item 2, East Boston Farm Stand, doing business as East Boston Farm Stand, located at 75 Meridian Street in East Boston, has petitioned to change the corporate name to P&O Produce Inc., and secondly, has petitioned to remove Officer Orlando Velasquez.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Item 3, Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital Corp. doing business as Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital located at 300 First Avenue in Charlestown has applied to change the officers to Dr. Ross Zafonte, President Manager.
I vote to approve.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Great. And the board has before them a list of special one-day liquor license applications which have been administratively reviewed by staff and approved by the board.
Okay.
And we have nothing on old and new business today, so those are all of the items before the board today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great rest of your week.
You
You
too.
too.